Hello, and welcome to your favorite bookish podcast, Fully Booked and Caffeinated. I'm Heather.
And I'm Kelsey.
And today we are discussing Beck Dorey-Stein's coming-of-age story, Spectacular Things. There's a dash. I have to give the dash credit.
There's a dash. Mm-hmm. That dash is working hard.
It is working hard. Anyways, what is your drink of choice today?
I just had a boring old coffee today, but I'll tell everyone about our delicious coffees yesterday because for the second week in a row, we went to A Cup of Literature in Asbury. And for the second week in a row, we got the exact same drink.
We really
did. And it was delicious.
It was.
What was it?
It was
a latte.
It had like maple.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. And oat milk.
It had oat milk, and it was available as a cappuccino, but we said
we got it as a latte.
We want a latte,
and it was a quad shot.
Oh yeah, because we got the 20 ounce. Mm-hmm. Let's see. There it is, the Maple Mockingbird cappuccino. Mm-hmm. Brown sugar cappuccino served with maple syrup and ground cinnamon.
It was pretty tasty.
It was really good. Their coffee is delicious. And everyone liked what they got. Everyone else got that chai.
Chai Gatsby.
Mm-hmm, the chai Gatsby. And that was pretty good, too. All right. So we like it there.
10/10 recommend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then this morning, I'm back on my protein coffee kick.
Good.
To get my health.
For health reasons.
Better condition. I actually got, for the first time, the Cafe Latte Premier Protein Shakes.
Oh, those are my favorite.
Yeah, and then last night I brewed an espresso pod and stuck it in the fridge. Mm-hmm. So that way it was just already ready to go. And then I have the sugar latte, or not sugar latte, the sugar cookie syrup, the International Delight one.
Okay.
Yeah, they still had it out. I got it like a month ago. So nice. I added some of that. And it was, like protein coffee is not my favorite, but I got to do what I got to do. Mm-hmm. So I sucked it up and I drank it. And as soon as we finish here, I'm going to go brew another pod, stick it in the fridge, and do it all again tomorrow.
Perfect.
The next 4 days.
Yeah, but you'll keep playing around with it and it'll get better. Because I like mine now.
Uh-huh. That's what it is. I think I just have to play around with like the flavors and then, the sweet to get it like sweetness that doesn't just taste like straight up protein and coffee.
Yeah, and I usually like an extra strong espresso so that you get a little bit of bitterness, but then I add the Torani syrup so it's sweet enough.
Yeah, because I finally went to my storage unit and got my other Nespresso pods.
Nice.
So they all did expire in 2022. So they're not very strong.
You're gonna have to brew 2 of them.
But I'm going to drink them, obviously. But yeah, from here on out, when I go to purchase them, I'm going to do like strictly espresso pods. Mm-hmm. And then make like lattes and stuff with them. So.
I actually started getting one of their coffee pods has like B12 in it. For like extra energy.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I've been getting that. Does it make a difference? Who knows?
Probably not.
Whatever.
I just roll with it these days.
Listen, I'm going to drink a pod anyway. Might as well drink a pod with B12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So, cheers. We love coffee.
Cheers.
So, Beck Dorey-Stein grew up in Pennsylvania, so she's not too far. And she taught high school English for 3 years before serving as a White House stenographer from 2012 to 2017.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, so she's got a pretty decent work career prior to actually writing her novels.
She really was a teacher and then was like, fuck this, I'm out.
Especially high school English.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't be me.
No. She now resides in Maine, which actually is the central location of Spectacular Things. And this is her 3rd novel, so it is not her debut novel.
Yay, us.
I finally chose one. And it was also a Reese's book club selection in 2025. And on the book club website, they did a behind the book interview with her. And one of the questions was, what was your journey into fiction like? And what advice would you give to aspiring writers? And I just liked her response. She was very like transparent, which I love when an author is like fully transparent about like this like isn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I'm still very much on the journey. My favorite books are all novels, and my go-to genre is contemporary fiction. So in that sense, it seems like a natural evolution. But I'm constantly struck with imposter syndrome and concern I'm not doing this thing right because I didn't go to graduate school and because it takes me so many drafts to figure out what I'm trying to say. All the stuff I tell aspiring writers to ignore. At the end of the day, if you write, you're a writer. So get writing for 10 minutes with a timer if that makes it seem doable and go from there.
I like that.
I do too. Like, I feel like that it's not just some laissez-faire, oh, I just love to do it, so I did it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, like, this shit's hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I still doubt myself every day, even with a successful career.
Yeah, and like we were just talking, I believe one of our friends brought it up at book club yesterday that only like, what is it, like 15% or something of authors actually make it out of all the ones. And so like that is, like it's, I really could admire the hustle
100%
of people. And you have to. It's not just going to fall into your lap, unfortunately.
Yeah, nothing will.
It'd be so much easier if it did.
Oh, yeah. And then it's also like, for the people that it does, like they get lucky. And I don't mean lucky as in like they don't deserve it, but their stuff like pops off on TikTok or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but they still have to have the skill to keep those readers, to keep those fans, and to like, there's still more work to be put into it.
Yeah, I agree. So Storygraph, Who's It For? I liked this one. This was another good one.
Okay.
For readers who crave emotional literary fiction centered on the fierce bond between sisters and the sacrifices we make for family. Perfect if you enjoy measured pacing that lets relationships breathe, hopeful undertones beneath bittersweet choices, and stories that explore how love can both anchor and limit us.
Ooh.
I think that's the best one we've seen so far.
Yeah, because it's not very word salady.
No,
like it's actually, I like that last sentence.
Pretty spot on. Yeah, me too. And then I pulled the description off of Storygraph as well because I read it on my Kindle. And I did my little trick of putting my Kindle on airplane mode so I didn't lose it because I did not finish it in time before I had to go back to the library. What would you give up for the person you love most? What would you expect in return? Mia and Cricket have always been close. The gifted daughters of a young single mother, the Low Girls, are well known in the small Maine town they call home. Each sister has a role to fill. The responsible and academically minded Mia assumes the position of caregiver far too young, while Cricket, a bouncing ball of energy and talent, seems born for soccer stardom, but the cost of achieving athletic greatness comes at a steep price. As Mia and Cricket grow up, they must grapple with the legacy of their mother's secret past while navigating their own precarious future. Can Mia allow herself to fall in love at the risk of repeating a terrible history? Will Cricket's relentless chase of a lifelong goal drive her sister away? When does loyalty become self-sabotage? A sharply observed and tender portrait of sisters' love and ambition, Spectacular Things is a sweeping story about the impossible choices we are forced to make in pursuit of our dreams.
That's a lot of questions they asked in there.
I know. Really putting you on the spot, making you think.
Yeah. I mean, we're not trying to answer them. The book should be answering them.
The book should be telling me what the answers are.
Telling me what to think.
This is not a pop quiz. Before we get into the summary of the book and our discussion of same, shall we take an ad break?
You know, here at Fully Booked and Caffeinated, we love coffee, but there are so many options to choose from in the coffee game. So how can you narrow it down? Well, allow us to help. Afuera Coffee is a company that sources their specialty beans from Central and South America, and the environment is quite literally in every bean. The volcanic soil infuses each coffee bean with vibrant and unique flavors. They have a flavor for everyone based on your personal tastes. Bold espresso for me, smooth light roast for Heather. And that's not all. The best part about Afuera Coffee is the ethical sourcing and sustainable farming practices they use to give you the best coffee while still protecting Mother Earth. And there's more. 5% of all sales are donated back to charities that provide conservation efforts to the great outdoors. If you don't believe me, go to their website, afueracoffee.com, and click on the 5% pledge tab. They have some great info on how much their pledge to charity has already impacted the environment. So check out Afuera Coffee if you're looking for great tasting, vibrant coffee, and you can rest assured knowing that you're contributing not only to your own happiness, but to the environment that we so desperately need to protect. This is an exclusive discount for listeners of our show. Use our promo code to get 15% off any product at afueracoffee.com. That's AFUERA coffee.com. Use promo code CAFFPOD, CAFFPOD. Again, that's afueracoffee.com, promo code CAFFPOD for 15% off sustainable and ethically sourced coffee. And we're back.
Didn't plan that at all.
Guys, that was our first ad.
Okay, so the book follows a young single mother, Liz Lowe, who gives up her dream of being a soccer phenomenon in order to fulfill the role of mother. So she abandons her hometown and affluent family, who basically only cares more about societal ideals than actually being a family. And she relocates to Victory, Maine to raise her daughter, Mia. So while Liz is still in high school, is supposed to go to UCLA on this soccer scholarship and become, the next Mia Hamm and have this very successful athletic career, but she does end up getting pregnant, and instead of having an abortion or giving up the baby for adoption, she chooses to raise the child away from her family. Because basically her parents are like, you can't do this. And
her parents' love is very conditional.
Very conditional. And it's like an interesting ideology because she really is giving up her entire life. She's very young and she is on the rise to having this very successful athletic career. So it's kind of an insane concept that she's like, I'm going to skip out on this.
Yeah, because it also, not that we knew much about her at this point, but it didn't feel like it fit with her personality. And the only thing I can think is because her parents didn't want her to. And it was that kind of rebelliousness because she was younger.
Yeah, because she definitely was. She was kind of like a little bit of a badass, but in her own like little ways. Mia's father is not in the picture initially, but he does end up in Maine when Mia's 4 years old for a summer. And while everything seems fine and dandy, he ends up leaving in the dead of night, but not without impregnating Liz again. With another daughter named Christine, but who is from here on out known as Cricket. And I loved as such a cute little nickname.
Yeah, I couldn't have told you, gun to my head, what her real name was.
Me either. I kept forgetting. And I actually had to like go back and like look real quick because I was like, what was this child's actual name? Because I don't remember.
Cricket isn't short for anything.
No. I think it was because she sounded like a cricket, right? Didn't like Mia say something?
I think it was because of her long legs, ? I might have made that up.
I can't remember. I read this book too like a week and a half ago, so I forget things. I like literally finished the book and quickly wrote down everything I remembered because I was like, if I don't do this right this second, I'm never going to remember what we read about.
So true.
Exactly. I'm literally those memes that are all over the internet that's like, I gave this book 5 stars. What was it about? Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you, but I can tell you that I liked it.
Could tell you that I loved it. So Liz works multiple jobs in order to take care of her family, which I love that she's also like a hustler. She's 100%. Like actually working her ass off to take care of her family. And while she is a busy mother, she's definitely not an absent mother, which I think is really important because I feel, there's this concept of a working mom And especially since she's working multiple jobs, so she's not really home for her as much as she obviously, I'm sure, would like due to her scenario. But she's so there for her kids.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times you hear that with people who have single mothers, who have grown up with single mothers, that it's like you can tell whether they were present when they were present, or if it was just like, oh no, I never got the love I needed from my mom, but at least I knew she was providing for me. Like, there's a difference.
I agree 100%. And since Liz is working consistently, Mia becomes this second caretaker for the family and Cricket. And she's basically, I mean, she's young. She's only, she's like in her adolescence years, and she's keeping track of the financials. She's doing the grocery shopping. She's making sure, Cricket's
that
getting
they're on
to
time
and from.
for things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's interesting because prior to Cricket coming into the picture, Mia is on track to possibly have the type of soccer career that Liz was supposed to have. And once Cricket starts playing, because there's this kind of idea that Cricket wants to do what Mia's doing, which is very common with sisters. But Cricket ends up being even better. And so Mia kind of has to put soccer for her on the back burner and make Cricket her number one priority.
Which is like so heartbreaking, and I feel like they just gloss right over it. But it really is even more complicated because of the importance and the stress that their mother puts on soccer.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden Mia is like, wait, I used to be your only daughter. I used to be your favorite. I used to be the soccer star. And now I'm none of those things.
Yeah. And so we get like this kind of brief, there's a decent amount of the beginning of the book is following Cricket's trajectory into soccer. I wouldn't say it's anything that we need to like necessarily like touch base on, but you do see Mia giving up a lot in order to make sure that Cricket's getting to where she needs to go. And you can Cricket joins kind of, I can't remember what it was called, but she joins like another soccer league aside from like a school soccer league. And there's like where she really becomes the player that she ends up being. And she has, her coach is Oliver. Well, actually, we don't even know his name is Oliver until like later.
He's just coach.
He's just
C.
coach. And he's like he has a huge importance in Cricket's life, and he really pushes her to be the best player that she can be. And I think that, especially since she never had a father figure, because Q immediately dipped and was not ever in Cricket's life, she kind of has Coach as almost like an older brother figure, I would say more, but he was very much, he wanted her to succeed. Like he knew that Liz was never on time for things, so if practice ran, if she was late to picking them up for practice, he was still out there with Cricket running drills, teaching her about visualization and things like that. Like, she gained so much knowledge of soccer from Coach specifically.
And she owes so much to him because he's even the one who convinced her to be a goalie, and that's something she never would have thought that she would love doing.
Yeah, so he's like a very important person in her life, and he becomes an even more important character throughout the book as well. So Mia does go off to college, which I was happy about. I was like, she is doing something for herself.
I thought she was going to go and then come right back, but she didn't.
I know. And she went to Yale, right? Wasn't it Yale?
Yeah, she went to Yale.
And while she's there, she ends up coming across an article of Liz from high school. And in the photograph, lo and behold, she sees Q, which is her father, and Liz's soccer coach. So, yay, pedophilia.
Yay, a predator.
And Mia is aghast. And this truly taints her image of her mother for her. It definitely puts this entire thing into a different perspective. Mm-hmm. Because now Mia's reflecting on the fact of that good summer she had with him. And now she's like, oh, wow, like, he's actually a predator, and that's not great.
Mm-hmm. And she kind of sees it as her mom was being, like, groomed in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because her mom is such a lover girl and was, like, so obsessed with him and so happy when he was around. And, like, yes, she was being groomed. Yes, he was a predator. Mm-hmm. But that's also just who her mom would be in a relationship with anyone. Yeah. And it wasn't a weakness of Liz, you know?
No, and it's actually so interesting how Liz's trajectory of her character develops because she comes from, like, this hard-ass family that didn't show love. But she is such a lover girl. Like, she loves these girls more than anything in the entire universe. Like, she doesn't even date. She literally does not even date. Like, all she cares about is her daughters.
And they talk all the time about how gorgeous she was. She would get hit on, like, multiple times a day. People would give her expensive presents for no reason.
Yeah, like, literally, my next thing is, they got a trip to Paris to go to the World Cup because one of her customers at the restaurant, like, was a part of the team, like, management or something like that. And so she walks back to the table and there's just 2 tickets to the World Cup. You know, obviously they can't afford it, so they just, like, get a credit card for the flights, and they, like, stay in, like, this random hostel.
I mean, I do the same shit.
But, like, what an experience that, like, had to be for them. You know, but it is
and it was
tough.
A formative experience for all 3 of them.
It was, and it's also, like, a tough thing for Mia because this is after the fact that she finds out about her mom, and she's been kind of avoiding her mom and the situation. Like, she's never allowing herself to be alone with Liz. And this is kind of the first time that she's really forced to have that final conversation with her mom. And when she does bring it up on the airplane ride home
with Cricket right there, it was the worst possible time.
Yeah. You know, like, Liz does admit that it was wrong, but she was in love. And so she does what I think many, many women do when they're in this scenario. You know, they try to justify it with the fact that they felt like they were actually in love because that person made them feel that way.
That's the thing, is, like, so many people say that. They're like, well, no, it wasn't that because we were in love, or because it would have been the same if, you know, if I wasn't his team, his coachee? I don't know, whatever. But the fact is, the relationship never should have happened because of the imbalance of power. And your subconscious is, in many ways, drawn to the forbidden aspect of it. Like, there's just so much that you can't control about it.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, it is, like, unfortunate that this is such a common thing, too. In, like, reality, that there are teachers and coaches and just people that prey on, like, these, because even if you're 16, 17, you're still a child.
Oh, 100%.
You're still a child.
And they just rationalize it of, like, oh, well, they're not that young.
And it doesn't matter.
I wasn't doing it on purpose. We just fell in love.
You know, and it's especially, like, being a parent myself now, it's crazy because you put so much trust into these people that are hired in these positions. And, you know, it's just, I can't even imagine what it would feel like to know that, you know, your child was preyed upon in that way. The world's just disgusting, and I hate it.
Sure is, and getting more disgusting.
The event takes place that changes the course of the book and their lives forever. On November 9th, 2019, Liz gets into a car accident and dies instantly. And I hated it because it's, like, the first time in the book that she's painted as feeling free. And she's like, I'm ready to start dating. I'm ready to start living my life for me. And, you know, which is fine. You know, she's been taking care of her daughters since birth and hasn't really done much for herself at all. And somebody runs a red light and kills her. But they say that it happened instantly and she didn't feel anything for as much. What's the word I'm looking for? It still doesn't give enough. Like, it doesn't help. Like, you know, you're trying to make it seem like, okay, well, it wasn't, at least she didn't suffer, but it doesn't take away the tragedy, the pain of the tragedy.
And in such like a sudden and accidental way. It's just horrible. It's not like she had cancer. Like it's awful.
Exactly. So Mia must leave college and now become the primary caretaker of Cricket. So she actually now is the caretaker of the family. Not just like a secondary person. She's mom now. And I feel like Mia does a really good job. Because you have to remember, like, she's only what? Like
20 or something?
20? I think she's only 20. Because she went through a full year of college. And then I think she was in her sophomore year when this happens. And yeah, so she's got to be about 20. And now, like, your whole life is upended. And what you thought was finally, what she thought was finally the start of her life on her own terms, it just, like, instantly gets ripped away from her.
Yeah, because not only is she a caretaker for her younger sister, but she's a caretaker for her younger sister with this insanely packed schedule and all of these things. And, like, they don't even talk about the cost that all of this takes. Like,
I know.
Being into a sport the way that cricket is into soccer.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, it is. It's literally your entire life, and you're not even playing the sport. It's like eat, breathe, live, sleep, soccer.
Couldn't be me.
It couldn't. So now we're going to circle back to Coach, whose name is Oliver. And he harbors a crush on Mia, come to find out. But he refuses to act on it due to the age gap, because they do have like a 7-year age gap. And he also doesn't like how it would look in the soccer world, since he does not want to come across as a predator, because there have been recent allegations and stories coming forward of coaches being predators. I mean, Mia lives it. Her mother was in the same scenario. And so she obviously doesn't want to do anything with Oliver because of her backstory. And, you know, I have the respect for Oliver that he, like, acknowledges this, that even though Mia is not his student, they don't have any kind of, there's no, like, relationship in a working manner. Like, they're strictly just know each other because Cricket is one of his players. And he doesn't want to even try anything until, like, he's done being Cricket's coach. And so you gotta have, like, some respect for him in that front, because...
Yes, I agree. And he also makes it a point to say, okay, just because it wouldn't be like a sexual predator situation, it still would make it harder for Cricket. Because then when the team finds out, and every time he even gives her a compliment, they're gonna be like, oh, that's because he's dating her sister. Like, it would be worse for Cricket too. So I like that he thinks about that, despite how much he likes Mia.
Which is not very common. A man thinking of other people first.
Oliver was written by a woman, clearly.
Clearly. But, you know, love is a tricky thing, and their pull is undeniable. They did try, and they end up dating, but they keep it a secret from Cricket at first. They want to wait until, you know, he's kind of out of that position of being Cricket's coach. But as all things happen in these scenarios, of course, Cricket finds out beforehand. And she's not a fan of the relationship at first. And she feels as if Oliver is kind of an intruder to her little family duo with Mia. You know, and because, well, Cricket to me is very, like, she's not self-centered, but she doesn't really have any emotions.
She has a one-track mind, for sure.
And so I think that she just doesn't want Mia's focus off of her in some kind of, like, selfish way.
Yeah, and I think she's also so terrified of change, especially because the only thing that's really changed in her life is her mom dying, and it was the worst thing to ever happen to her. So now she's like, I can't handle another big change that could affect my life.
Mm-hmm. She does eventually accept their relationship, and then we kind of get more of Cricket, and she goes to the soccer national team camp, and while there, she befriends Sloane Jackson, who is also a goalkeeper. She plays in Florida, and their friendship throughout the entirety of the novel is portrayed as a competition of friends who push each other to be better. But Sloane does have a slight leg up on Cricket, and she ends up foregoing college to just immediately enter the soccer draft, which is so crazy to me.
So
like, you're
crazy.
just 18 years old and you're just going to throw yourself into, like, that competitive world. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. And, like, miss out on so much.
Yeah.
You're missing out on the whole college experience, and I get that it's complicated because athletes' ages are such a big thing. Like, their careers are over when they're so young. So it's crazy that she would make that decision.
I know. And, you know, under whose advisement, realistically? Like, who's, you know, who does she know that does that? She, you know, she's really just making a decision for her career, and it does end up working out for her. Obviously, she ends up having, like, a very successful career in the book. Cricket goes to UCLA because she does go to college.
Yeah.
Which was the college that Liz was meant to attend. And so Cricket is very serious about, like, completely following her mom's footsteps and achieving the soccer career dream that her mom was unable to. And so I feel like Cricket does kind of put this unnecessary pressure on herself because she feels like she has to live up to this ideology of what her mother could have been. And she feels, especially now, since her mother has died, that she kind of has to, in honor of her memory, be successful.
Yes. And
here she meets Yasmin, or Yaz, and she falls head over heels for her. And I had an inkling that, see, I thought maybe Cricket was going to be asexual, actually. That was kind of the vibe I was going into. But I'm glad that if she wasn't, that she ended up being a lesbian, because I think that that's, like, the perfect fit for her. And she realizes now how Mia felt about Oliver. She's like, I get it. I understand now that you fell so in love that you could care less about my feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
Because now I'm doing that. Like, I am so in love with this girl that I met 2 days ago.
Literally. She's like, we said I love you after a week. It's
literally. But they do end up dating the entirety of Cricket's college career. But when Cricket gets drafted to Chicago, the long distance and Cricket's devotion to soccer causes their relationship to deteriorate, and the two end up breaking up. So, again, you have this situation where Cricket is so one-track minded with soccer that it does affect everything else that's in her life. So while she cared and loved Yaz so much, she couldn't give Yaz the life that she wanted because Cricket is putting soccer first and putting her career first, which is fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, really, because this is the life that Cricket's always wanted.
Yeah, and Yaz knew this when she first started dating Cricket. You know, it still sucks that they couldn't make it work, but
you know, it's always that hope of what if, or maybe you'll change. You know, you're like willingly setting yourself up for failure.
100%.
And you have to be okay with the fallout if it doesn't go the way you plan. You know, so, but if you look at it in hindsight, they had a really great couple years together. And it showed Cricket that there is more to life than just soccer. Mia and Oliver attempt to begin a family, but fertility is an issue, and Mia does end up having a miscarriage. And they do end up successfully becoming pregnant. And during, like, this time, it's like so crazy watching the two sisters, because they continuously have highs and lows. And now, while, Mia has this high of now being successfully pregnant, Cricket's soccer career goes downhill for a moment in time. And she begins to wallow and not feeling successful enough. And so while she's home for the holidays and she discovers that Mia's pregnant, it's kind of like this jumpstart to her system of being like, all right, I need to like get my shit together and prove that I'm worth being in the national team and I should go to the World Cup. And so she's back to like this extreme dream, and she's very, very committed. Like she eats only certain things. She works out massively
every single day for hours and hours and hours.
When she's home, Oliver is like, I am going to help you the entire time you're here. Like, we're going to do this together. Like, he goes for a run with her. He's like, you're not in this alone. So, like, again, like, you just see how, like, what a great person Oliver is and how much he really does care about cricket. And Sloane and Mia, like, and then Sloane also has, like, an effect on her as well to, like, you need to get your head out of your ass. They're both just like, you need to stop. Like, you're wallowing for no good reason. Yeah, you had a rough year. Like, who doesn't? Like, just because things don't go the way you want doesn't mean that you should give up.
Yeah, and they both know what she's capable of. So they're like, just suck it the fuck up and get back to the cricket that we know.
Exactly. And she does, like I said, begin to work harder to become a better version of herself. And then she ends up at the Olympics. So, like, she does it.
Just like that.
She does it. Like, she is able to do the thing that she was worried she was never going to achieve. And while Sloane was the starter for the U.S. team and Cricket was what's known as the game changer, which if this is, like, a real term, this is crazy and I never do this. But then I'm also thinking of, like, in the Heated Rivalry series, there's a book called Game Changer. And now I'm like, are these correlated?
Like, how many things does this term mean?
I know, but it does cause a rift in their friendship because Cricket definitely feels like she was more deserving of being the goalie and not the game changer. And again, you just kind of have this moment in time where Cricket is so soccer minded that she doesn't really pull herself back to, like, think of other people's feelings and emotions about things. And she just thinks that she deserves to get everything. That she's worked hard enough and she's put in the time and, why isn't it me? Like, I've been playing better than you while we're here. But ultimately, the coach of the team put Sloane up. And it's because Sloane does have more experience, technically. She's been playing in the, the actual soccer league much longer than Cricket, because Cricket went to college and Sloane didn't. So, I mean, just because Cricket might be playing better than her now, this is like one of those moments in time where longevity does come into play.
Yeah, and I think it's obviously complicated because Cricket is still not regretting her decision, but there was always that thing in the back of her mind saying that she knew Sloane was going to be ahead of her by skipping college. And then there's this other side of it where she's like, oh, Sloane has had everything given to her. She came from money. She's had an easy life. Like, I've worked so much harder than her. And so she's just kind of has this chip on her shoulder.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get where she's coming from, but at the same time, she, like you said, she can't think outside of herself.
No, she can't. Like, this is like, there's these moments in the story where I have, like, such a complicated feelings about Cricket and her character. Because, like, you want to root for her, but then she pulls shit like this, and you're like, girl.
I know. And especially because Sloane, even though she's always been a little bit of an asshole...
Yeah.
She really has
more than a little bit.
Okay, a lot of an asshole. But like, she's always been there for Cricket, and, like, she's always there to hype her up, to have their friendly competition. And, like, I think that's a problem with Sloane, too, that she doesn't realize that, oh, just because I can take this seriously but still have a friendship, that doesn't mean that Cricket can.
Yeah, and there's also the difference of affluence. You know, Sloane comes from, like, this very rich family, and Cricket doesn't. Cricket had to work hard. Her family had to work hard to get everywhere they are now, whereas Sloane didn't. And so, like, she basically accuses Sloane of, like, who did your parents pay that you could? And I was like, and Sloane was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what do you mean? Like, you know, it's just...
Because that's like, so, yeah. It's so complicated because, yes, she obviously has had a lot of extra experiences and a leg up because of her money, but, like, to say outright, the only way you could beat me is if your parents paid someone, I'd never talk to her again.
I mean, and they don't talk for a good period of time. So while at the game, Sloane does get hurt in the final match right at the end. She, like, breaks her fucking femur or something.
Like, they made it sound like it was backwards.
I know, like, the way it sounded very gory. And Cricket has her moment to shine, so she comes in as the game changer. She ends up blocking the shot from the opposing team and securing their win, and this really catapults her soccer career. Like, way more than it's ever been, because now she's a star. Like, she's a literal Olympics U.S. star.
And everyone was watching. And that was, like, her make or break.
I know, and it's just, like, you know, in this moment, especially knowing that she didn't play at all during the Olympics, I feel like I was asking myself at times, did she deserve the trajectory of her career that she got off, like, this one shot? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't understand soccer, but...
You know,
because, like, if she had let in that shot, then what, her entire career is ruined and she never gets another chance? And
so it's just kind of so crazy, and she basically, I think, she just gets the choice of the litter of, you know, she has all of these deals, brands, like, her choice is her, like, the world is her oyster. You know what I mean?
And they basically say, like, she's getting millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Off
and
of
it's just
this one game.
It's crazy. It was literally one... She just came in at the tail end of a game, seconds left, and she secures the win, which I think is deserving of something, especially coming in and not playing the entirety of the Olympics. But it's, you know, do I think she deserved everything she got from that? Probably not.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, she works hard.
Listen, there was a lot of things that came easy in this book.
So during the Olympic game, Mia gives birth to her daughter, Betty. And while this moment in time should all around be the happiest moments of both sisters' lives, Mia successfully gives birth to her child. Cricket has won the Olympics, and now she is a huge rising star. Of course, things can never go as planned or nice and easy. Mia ends up having complications, and she loses too much blood during the birth, leading to a disease that requires a kidney transplant that obviously Cricket is a perfect match for. So when Cricket comes to the hospital to meet the baby, we had discussed this yesterday at book club, she is kind of ambushed with this decision of giving up a kidney for her sister and what that means moving forward. You know, when Mia says it, Cricket immediately is like, of course I'll give you a kidney. Like, what did you say? She's like, she asks, do I get it back?
She's like, I don't know anything about kidneys. Do I get it back at some point? Are you borrowing it?
Yeah. You know, so she's like immediately willing to help her sister in any way she can, but it's not that easy. If she gives up her kidney, she can no longer play soccer. So it's like this...
Which, like, I'm not a doctor, but why?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not.
You need two kidneys to play soccer?
Maybe.
But Sloane could break her fucking femur and be back 2 weeks later? Okay.
Yeah. So now Cricket is kind of met with this. She just had the greatest moment of her career.
Spent the entire weekend partying, living it up, basically like drinking champagne out of champagne fountains.
Yeah. And when she hears that if she does this for her sister, it gives up everything, she's obviously very loath to be like, oh, I'm going to think on it. You know, Mia gives her the card to the organ donor lady, and Cricket never actually reaches out to her.
And Oliver is pissed.
Oliver's very angry, which, like, is interesting. So, like, when you start the book, it does start with a specific scene. Cricket wins the Olympics. Mia has the baby, and Oliver is her husband, but we, the readers, don't know who Oliver is yet.
Right.
So, in this moment, you're like, oh, Oliver must know things that we don't know for him to be so angry. And then, obviously, as you read the book, you discover that he's Coach, and he was the one that made her career go on the trajectory that it did. So, it is shocking that his reaction is so, like, emotional. But I do think that he does eventually backtrack on it. You know, I think it's in that moment, because he's like, Mia's going to die if you don't give up your kidney. So I think in that moment, Coach is showing, Oliver's showing that you have to put family over your career at that point. And that's not something that Cricket's able to do.
Exactly. And he's also just days ago gone through this absolutely horrific, traumatic experience where he thought his wife was going to die delivering their baby. And he's still reeling from that, and now realizing, like, oh wait, she could drop down at any second, and this is the only way to fix it. So, like, of course his emotions are heightened, but I completely agree. Like, that is one of the messages of this book, is that, like, you have to decide that family is more important than your career. And easy for Oliver to say,
yeah,
but it's complicated.
It is. It's a very complicated situation. And then Mia ends up having to be on dialysis while she waits for a transplant, which sounds very shitty. And once Cricket leaves the hospital, she actually doesn't speak to Mia or Oliver for months. And she finds herself in this deep loneliness. So she lost touch with her sister and her brother-in-law. She has ruined her friendship with Salone. So now she's kind of experiencing what true loneliness is. And it's not great. She's not happy. You know, and it's kind of at this moment in time, she has the reflection a little bit of, is it all worth it if I don't have anything but soccer? And she's going to the World Cup at Rose Bowl, which is, like, I believe, like a stadium in California. And Oliver bought tickets for the World Cup in order to fix the rift between Mia and Cricket. You know, he's very much like, he knows how much they both mean to each other. And they're also all they've got. Like, yes, Mia has Oliver, but it's different. You know? Yeah. Mia and Cricket have been through hell and back together.
It can't be helping Mia's health to have this stress on her. And especially the fact of knowing that she could potentially die at any minute. Like, if he knows that if Mia died and her and Cricket were not on good terms, it would destroy Cricket's life.
Absolutely. Mia's doctors are like, you can't travel. Like, you can't go. Because, I mean, it's in San Francisco or something. I can't remember. That actually might be another book I read where it took place in San Francisco. I can't remember. But, because they're still going to California. So she's still traveling a long distance. And the doctor's like, you really shouldn't do it. But Mia's kind of like YOLOing it. And are you looking it up to see?
Yes, it's in Pasadena, California.
Okay. What book did I don't know. Something I read took place in... Oh, wait, no, it was a different book. It was The X-Files. That took place in San Francisco. My bad. This is what happens when I read multiple books at once. They all mesh together. So before the World Cup game, Salone ends up showing up at Cricket's door, and she admits that she played a role in their falling out, and that she did, in fact, punch down a lot on Cricket throughout their journey together as young soccer players and becoming who they are today. And that's like a big moment for Salone. I was actually pleasantly surprised with this. Like,
I'm glad they included this.
I didn't see this coming, because I feel like Salone is so hard-headed and stuck in her ways per se. And I never would have thought that she would admit to being like, you're right, I actually kind of have been an asshole.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And like, you know, they make amends, and then they have this big heart-to-heart about how dreams change. And it's kind of definitely during this conversation where I think the wheels are turning in Cricket's mind about, you know, accepting that dreams can change, and you kind of have to do what makes you happy, ultimately. And then while at the game, Mia, like I said, whose doctor advised she should not have traveled while being on dialysis, passes out and is rushed to the hospital. We all thought she was dead, that this was it. And I was getting so emotional because I thought she was going to die. I did not think Mia was going to survive this book. I was like convinced. And so I was just like preparing for this death that never came. Sloane finds out about Mia and rushes to tell Cricket, who like doesn't believe Sloane at first. She's like, "Are you fucking
I wouldn't
with
either."
me?" Yeah, she's like, "We just had this big heart to heart, and now you're just trying to undermine me and pull me out of this game." But then like she realizes that, oh no, like she's being fully honest. And while at the hospital, Cricket does make the determination that she is going to give Mia her kidney, because her rational thinking of this moment in time is that for the first time in her life, Mia actually needs her. It's not the other way around. And I think coming to terms with seeing how much Mia was truly suffering, because you have to remember, Cricket hasn't seen her or talked to her since this experience has begun for Mia. And I think in that moment when she realizes, like, I'm going to lose my only other family that I have, I think she makes the right decision, ultimately. It sucks that she has to give up her entire life, but when you look at the flip side, Mia gave up a majority of her life to give Cricket the life that she's had. And Cricket had a great career. Like, she did a lot of cool things, so it's not like so Mia, it wasn't for nothing. Like, Mia, what Mia did to get Cricket where she was today was a success. At the hospital, Cricket also comes to the realization that she's in love with Sloane and kisses her when they return to the hotel. So I saw this coming from the very beginning. I knew that these two were going to end up together. And that's why I wasn't surprised when Cricket went to college and she ended up being gay. Because I had a feeling that these two were going to end up together. And I was right. I don't love it, but I was right.
Yeah, I don't love it. I didn't guess it, but now that you're saying it, it's like, yeah, I should have seen that too. But it was so not on my radar.
I know. And the kidney transplant is successful. Cricket can no longer play soccer, but she does become a coach for the national team for the goalkeepers. So it does kind of still come to this for a full circle moment for her, because while she could no longer physically play, she is still so involved in the soccer world, and she's coaching for the team that really made her career and pushed her to be the player she was. The book ends with Betty repeating a quote that Mia always says, especially during walks on the beach, which I really liked this moment because Mia has had so much tragedy and loss, and so her mentality after everything happens is like, she says while she's on the beach walking with Betty, she just looks at like the sunset or the sunrise, and she's just like, what a gift that like we actually are here, we get to like experience life. And so look, little Betty is like, what a gift. And I was like, okay, that makes me sad.
Aww. Little Betty.
I know. But that's the book. That is Spectacular Things.
Weird
now
name.
Before we get into discussion, shall we take another ad break?
Let's do it. If you're a listener of the pod, you know that Heather and I are booked and busy. We're always looking for ways to make our life easier and to boost our energy and focus, which is why we've got a company for you to check out called Strong Coffee Company. Their instant coffee and latte options not only provide a quick route to your delicious morning coffee, their blends are also infused with 15 grams of grass-fed protein, 5 grams of MCTs, 250 milligrams of adaptogens such as ashwagandha and theanine. If you're like, what the heck does all that mean? It means you'll be getting much better sleep, more mental clarity, and no jitters or crashes. Better sleep means more productivity and more energy to do things you love, like read and listen to this podcast. So if you're committed to being your best, healthiest self without giving up your daily cup of coffee, check out Strong Coffee Company. We've got an exclusive discount for you only for listeners of our show. Head to strongcoffeecompany.com and use promo code CAFPOD to get 20% off any product. This is the highest discount Strong Coffee offers, so make sure to use this code ASAP and let us know what you think. Again, that's strongcoffeecompany.com and use promo code CAFPOD.
And we're back. All right, so I think, and we briefly discussed this at book club, I think that I took this book in a different way than everyone else did because I related so much to the family intricacies of this book. Not about soccer. I know jack shit about soccer. But, you know, my mother was very young when she had me. She was 17 years old, so she was basically around the same age as me, as Liz. And her and my mom were very, like, similar in the ways that they did give up their youth to, like, raise their children. Mm-hmm. And my parents stayed together. They shouldn't have, but they did. Mm-hmm. So, like, they did get married when I was 5, and they did end up having another child. And my sister and I are 10 years apart. My parents divorced, separated when I was 17. My sister was 7, and all of a sudden I was my sister's. I had 2 living parents, but I was my sister's caregiver. You know, the whole situation is not meant for this podcast. It's meant for, like, a podcast about bad family
trauma.
And I gave up a lot of my adolescence, and I grew up a lot quicker than I needed to. So I think I took this story in a completely different way than everyone else did, because I'm like, I get it. Mm-hmm. And because I feel like everyone was like, not like how dare, but the fact that Mia just automatically expects Cricket to just give up her kidney. And I'm just like, yeah, she should. Mm-hmm. It's like, because Mia did a lot for her sister to get her where she is, and Cricket's not really contemplating that. And I'm like, I get it. It's just very relatable. And it's, you know, it's like that, it's just like a sad situation in the book, because obviously if Liz was still alive, she would have helped out Mia. And then we had briefly talked about, like, why didn't Mia ever reach out to Q? Mm-hmm. And I think, like, but also, like, Q was an alcoholic, so would he even have a good kidney?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, and so, like, she, in this moment in time, does need Cricket. Mm-hmm. And it's a disappointment that Cricket's her immediate reaction was to help. But when she realizes that it's going to change her life, she's not willing to make that decision when Mia did it for Cricket multiple times.
Right. And so I think
it's tough.
Especially, like, once we talked through it, the general consensus was that, like, obviously the right decision is for Cricket to give up her kidney. Mm-hmm. But the wrong decision was the way that Mia and Oliver handled it. Because, like, Cricket has never seen everything that Mia has done to get her where she is. She's never seen how much, like, sacrifice and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So, like, the fact that Mia is now like, okay, now I'm going to cash in on all the shit I've ever done for you. Mm-hmm. And Cricket's like, wait, what? Like, she needs to be able to sit with that. Mm-hmm. And ultimately then she would make the right decision. Yeah. But it was just the fact of, like, you didn't know this was coming. You just met the baby, and now give me the kidney or else. Okay, bye. Like, it was just such a horrible situation.
I agree with that. And it's, you know, and I feel like with Cricket and her character, you know, she's smart, but soccer smart. Mm-hmm. I feel like if you put her in a scenario away from soccer, she's not able to comprehend what's happening because, you know, especially with her concept of vision, of, you know, looking ahead into the future and planning X, Y, and Z with soccer specifically, although she does do it with other moments in time in her life, you know, I just don't think that you can put things on cricket and expect her to make a decision. Mm-hmm. Like
she was a youngest daughter. Like she was completely catered to, and both her mom and Mia made sure that cricket never had to worry about anything, and that everything was handled for her, that she didn't have to make these big decisions or, you know the sacrifice that were going into things. So it's like, yeah, that definitely tracks for then her being like, wait, what? Now I need to actually do something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's very relatable.
Uh-huh. Knew that one would hit you.
And like soccer is a huge part of the book, and I'm not a soccer fan, but like it didn't distract me from the story within, you know, because I feel like I've read books before, like especially like for instance lessons in chemistry, there was so much science in that book, but it didn't take away from the story, you know. So I think that the author does a really good job here in separating the two, but also bringing them together, even if you're not a fan of one thing.
Yeah, I agree, because I still don't care about soccer after reading this.
Yeah. No.
But it wasn't over the top. And in some points I was even like, they should explain that more, because I don't know what's going on, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, I also like kept expecting the worst. Mia dying, like cricket not having a good career. And so like when the positives did happen, like I found myself like cheering them on. You know what I mean? Like, because of how much tragedy this family has just been going through since their births, you know, like you just kind of keep thinking that the other shoe is going to drop, and like it does, obviously in different ways, but it was nice to continuously see the two sisters overcome things. So both daughters their worth was established early on by Liz, and Mia was to be the caretaker. Cricket was to excel in soccer, and they never resented Liz for this. And it's like, was this fair of Liz though to put them both in these positions?
I have mixed feelings about Liz. Let me tell you, because I don't think it was fair for her to rely on Mia as much as she did. I don't think it was fair to put that much pressure on Cricket. I know, like you said, she didn't do anything for herself, but she did rely on kids to handle her life for her. Like, it pissed me off that she was always fucking late. It pissed me off that she couldn't, like, get out of the door on time, that she couldn't organize her money. And I get that the reason that she had that close relationship with Mia is because she was so young when she had Mia, and I think that is the reason that the girls don't resent her. But I still think it was unfair. And then after her dying, for every single decision the girls made to be centered around, this is what mom would want, this is what mom would want. It's just so, not sad, but it's just so limiting.
Yeah. You know, like, Liz relied so heavily on Mia, and that's not fair to Mia. Like, again, like, Mia did have to grow up so much quicker, and she lost out. You know, it's just like, it's ironic because Liz missed out on her youth, and in making the decisions that she's making in her life now, she's now causing her daughter to, like, lose out on her youth. Point. You know? And because it was like, and like, so when I flip it around, I look at it personally and like compare it to my situation, you know, my mom kind of went through like her midlife crisis when my parents separated. And I remember her saying multiple times, you know, because she was just going out all the time, and she's like, I missed out on my youth, so now I'm getting it. And it's like, okay, but that's not how this works. Like, you still have you still have a very, very young child.
It's not like both our kids are 18 and in college.
Yeah, like granted, yes, I am 17, 18, and I'm working, and I will help you out, but it was never fair for my parents to put the responsibility of my sister on me. Did I do it? Of course I did. I love my sister so much, and I would do it all over again. Mm-hmm. But, it's just crazy.
Not fair that you had to be in that position in the first place.
No, and it's like, it almost it's like some people are, like, some moms are good moms to an extent. And, it's crazy that, like, for me, I already know I'm always going to put Millie first. Like, no matter what happens, I will continuously put myself on the back burner to make sure that she succeeds at whatever she wants to do. And it's so crazy to me that other moms or dads don't do that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, then why did you have children? Mm-hmm. Granted, my mom was young and Liz was young. So, like, but you have to, like, come to the terms that this is a decision that you made. And you need to stand on business, like everyone else says. To all 10 toes, not just, like,
10
5.
10 toes down, baby.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, like, it really isn't fair. And then it puts Mia in this fucking impossible situation.
Mm-hmm. And Mia gave up so much. And, it ended up working out because she got with Oliver and she loved her job and blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But she literally gave up Yale and never got a single fucking thank you. Not a single thank you from Cricket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, like, kind of crazy. They could probably benefit from, like, familial therapy.
100%. And then they can have some guest sessions with Oliver, too.
I know. But yeah, I mean, it was a really well-written book. And I think that it handled all of the different themes of, like, sacrifice, grief, love, giving it all to one thing. Like, I really feel like the author handled it all really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I thought the writing was great. The fact that I did read this entire book about soccer and about,
I know,
sisters and all this stuff that I wouldn't normally relate with. Mm-hmm. I thought the writing was really good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, the consensus at book club was everyone liked it.
Yeah, we had some issues with, like we said, the freaking ambush, and with Oliver's character, and how we didn't get too much development from him.
Yeah.
But other than that, everyone really liked it. And when I first finished it, I really liked it. I was like, I can't pinpoint what I really liked about it, but I also can't pinpoint anything I didn't like.
I know. And it's, that's what I love about books like that, where you're just like, do I relate to it? No. But did I feel like I took something away from it? Like, I took something? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you know that it's a good author, because you're pulled into it without those, like, extra factors. Mm-hmm.
Before we get into the rating system, is there anything else you wanted to discuss that I missed on?
The only other thing I'd like to say is this felt like a romance in the way that everything was so neatly pinned up at the end. Yeah. And it pissed me off because I wasn't expecting Mia to live. And I'm not saying I wanted her to die.
No, but I almost felt like
she had to die.
The basis of this book and the route that it was going, I was expecting the worst.
Yeah.
And, like, it didn't happen. Am I happy that, like, everyone lives happily ever after? Of course I am.
How fucked up would it be if she died after the transplant? So already, no kidney for... Cricket would be like, so can I get my kidney back now or no?
Literally.
But yeah, then the fact that, like, Cricket ends up with Sloane and then she has her perfect dream job, and yeah, it just felt a little too
It's definitely a little too fairy tale-ish, obviously.
Exactly.
And, like, I will say that that's obviously the one gripe I have with it as well, because, like, I really truly was ready to be hit hard emotionally. And, like, I was, like, yes, like, I did cry a little bit reading it, not as much as I thought I would, mainly because of, like, I related to a bunch of it, and because I was the buildup of thinking that this big moment was going to come, and then it didn't.
We're all grieving Mia. And she's like, surprise, bitches.
Yeah. So, all right, you want to know our rating system?
Let's hear it.
It's out of 5 polar plunges to reset your life.
I forgot about the polar plunges.
Was probably one of my favorite parts of the book. So, when Q leaves Liz for the second time and really devastates her emotionally, she does realize that she has to, pull her head out of her ass and get back to being a mom. And they kind of do a New Year's plunge, even though it's not New Year's, you know? And then the girls continue it, but they do it on the anniversary of their mom's death every year, which I love that too. And I just love the concept of, all right, we're going to dive in and we're starting anew, no matter what happened or what's to come. And I just think that that's a beautiful thing.
My favorite part was that for the last plunge that they talk about, that they're getting ready and Oliver's like, come on, you guys got to leave now or you're not going to make it in time. He was so in their family and so supportive of their relationship as best friends. That was the moment that I was like, oh, they're all going to make this work.
Yeah, they are. They created their own little family. And that's great.
Yeah. All right, so polar plunges to reset. I'm giving this 4. I was between a 4 and a 4.5. But I think I'm going to go with 4 just because I don't think this is a book that's going to stay with me for a long time. You know what I mean? This isn't going to change my life. But I really like the writing, and I do want to read more from this author because I think it was just a matter of the subject matter not being that interesting to me. But yeah, so I think I'm going to land on 4.
Okay.
What are you at?
4.5.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a really good book. It obviously stuck with me because of just understanding the plot points.
Yes.
On a personal level. And I really liked her writing. And it was just the way that she wrote Mia and Cricket was just really well done. And I like that we got to see both sides to them. And it was nice to see Cricket come to that moment of, all right, family does matter more than my career, which isn't always the case. I will agree with that. Some people, their family aren't worth that. And so the career is the choice. But in this scenario, she knows that, she needs Mia.
Well, yeah, because we also talked about that at book club, that the fact is when they were saying to Cricket, you're going to give up Mia's life for success that you might not even have. But, she was getting that success. Yeah. She was on that trajectory. She was already accomplishing everything she had been set off to accomplish. And we also talked about the fact that Cricket does not have anything outside of soccer. She doesn't know who she is outside of soccer. So, not only is she giving up her dream, she's giving up her entire personality. So that's fucking scary for her.
I know, which is why I think the author gave her, the happy ending she did. Because she, I think she knew if Cricket gives up soccer, she's going to have nothing. So this is kind of her way of being here, sorry, I fucked your character over. I'm going to give you a girlfriend and a coaching job.
And still soccer.
Everything is fine.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah. But no, I will definitely read other books by her for sure. And I think that this is a hit for Reese's book club choice because sometimes they're not all winners.
I know. I've read some I really didn't like. I think this was good, and I think this is the kind of book I think of when I think of Reese's book club. A contemporary fiction with a bunch of deep themes. You know what I mean?
And I also think this would make a good movie as well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I personally love soccer movies because I used to watch Bend It Like Beckham on repeat because I had the biggest crush on Keira Knightley.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Exactly. All right. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. That's all we have for you today. If you like what you heard, please make sure to follow, subscribe, and rate and review the podcast on whatever platform you listen to us on. If you have any book recommendations or questions for us, you can email us at fullybookedcalfpod@gmail.com. Also, be sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at fullybookedcalfpod to see our upcoming reads. Thanks for checking us out, and remember,
if you need us, we're fully booked. Bye.